Real quick before we get into today's video, just want to thank all the people over on Patreon for all their support, because without their help, the upgraded content that you see on the channel, that you really see in the video essays and a few of the lore discussions would not be possible without their help. But over on the Patreon, you get sneak peeks of videos months in advance. Patrons also get priority on the Q&As. Every 3 months we do an anime and manga haul, and I give away a lot of good goodies in that. And it's also just really cool to talk to you guys in the DMs, and if some of you guys have theories that you want me to talk about on the channel, obviously I will talk about your theories. Just send them to me over on the Patreon. But with that being said, let's get into the review. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys a review for Boruto Naruto Next Generations episode 237. And now that episode 237 is done in the books, man, we got a lot to talk about, because the fight that was in today's episode was actually pretty damn good. It's in the second half of the episode. Now, if you're here for the chapter review, don't worry, I got you. That will be up later today. This is one of those rare instances where the anime episode and the manga chapter drop on the same day. So keep notifications turned on. Chapter reviews coming soon. So with this episode, very simple, straightforward episode. The first half was a little bit of setup, but they implemented the ticking clock. The second half of the episode was Boruto and Kagura and the 3 members of the 7 Ninja Swords in the Mist going up against this new character, Tenma. And I have to say, I was very impressed with the character Tenma. We saw right away that there is a power gap, and he's strong enough that Kawaki fought him somewhat seriously, which is consistent with what we know about Kawaki's power, because when we were first introduced to Kawaki when he was fatigued, the scope of the battle, according to Konohamaru, had reached a level where it was in S-rank territory. S-rank in the Boruto era is reserved for Jonin and levels of power that approaches that of the 5 Kage, where the 5 Kage have to step in. We know based off of the lore that was given to us earlier on in this arc that Arayumi, the leader of the Funato clan, has power that was great enough that Childro had to step in to handle him. And we know Tenma possesses power that goes beyond that of Arayumi. So what we see here is that while Kawaki isn't on a defensive, Tenma is fast and strong enough to react to Kawaki's attacks. If this would have been Kawaki when he was fighting with bloodlust like he was when we first got introduced to him, Kawaki likely would just utterly destroyed him, which is consistent with what we know based off of what Jigen and Delta and Boro all stated. Kawaki's fighting style has changed since he's been in Konoha. But this was still a pretty impressive showing from the character of Tenma. Moving into the recap portion, the episode opens up with a very good usage of the ticking clock, where we get everybody touching base with each other. And when Boruto's able to touch base with Kagura, he lets them know, hey, they got a ninja weapon tech cannon. If they shoot that chakra cannon at Sarada's ship, they're all going to be obliterated. So right there, we have a threat level established, and we have a countdown to wanting to resolve everything before Sarada's ship comes into sight. Before they can further go over their plan, we run into a situation where Kagura's ship ends up getting attacked, and automatically the ticking clock begins, because we know that that chakra cannon is going to be getting aimed at Sarada's ship once it comes into play. And it's like what I talked about in the last episode review when we saw the chakra cannon. The technology has increased. If you'll recall, that chakra cannon that we saw the Raikage order around during the events of Naruto the Last, that chakra cannon required the chakra of a lot of shinobi. Now, with the advancement of ninja tech, in particular thanks to the information that Konoha has, you can store larger amounts of chakra in those ninja weapon tech devices. And we know based off of the novels that Konoha has shared that technology with the other villages. And we're seeing a byproduct here. What this chakra cannon looks like it's likely doing is taking whatever chakra is stored into some of those capsules and it's amplifying the destructive output of the attack. If it gets fired and you're not ready for it, there's not too many shinobi that are going to be able to actually block something like that. So I like the threat level that's established there. And what I like here is that Kagura takes advantage of the situation, and he tells the old man that is the captain of the ship that they're on that they're basically going to have to sacrifice his ship, but they're going to run the ship into the mobile fortress. And it's because they're being chased after by these pirates in the Funato clan, and Kagura's ship is able to run into the drainage area of the mobile fortress. It causes all the pirates that are on the ship to run to one central location to deal with it, and that gives Boruto's team the opportunity to sneak into the part of the ship that has the ninja weapon tech tool, and they quickly take out one of the pirates that's guarding it. Buntan uses her lightning style lightning ball jutsu. Kawaki begins to pursue the other one, and that's when we get the revelation that Kagura's team has already boarded the ship. They quickly take out that remaining member of that pirate crew, and as they begin to devise a plan to destroy the chakra cannon, before they can fully formulate the plan to destroy it, that's when Tenma shows up. And when Tenma shows up, the difference in his power and everybody else there, with the exception of Boruto and Kawaki, is quickly established. Not even Kagura, when everything is projected up to people fighting at full power, not even Kagura will be able to take him down. You're gonna need Boruto, Mitsuki, Sarada, and Kawaki to be the one that take him on. Kagura was struggling a bit. When they were in the process of feeling each other out and doing the one-upsmanship, Kagura was in a situation where he was keeping pace, but it quickly became apparent that even with his mental amps, that come with his resolve to want to protect his teammates, Kagura's outclassed. That's the whole reason why Kawaki called an audible and Kawaki stepped in, because if the battle kept progressing, Kawaki knows that Kagura would have died. That's not to say that Kagura is on the same level as Buntan and Hebiichigo. That's not to say that, because Hebiichigo gets taken out in one shot. She's bleeding all over the place. Buntan had a moment where she was able to deflect a couple of attacks, but ultimately she was going to be taken out as well. Kagura has clearly leveled up, but we're dealing with somebody whose power and potential goes beyond that of the leader of the Arayumi clan, and the leader of the Arayumi clan was somebody that Chojo had to deal with. Now, this is where things get interesting. When you get to Kyoho, when he tries to go into the battle, we find out that he's got a little bit of the issue that Tsunade did. So when Tsunade was in the Search of Tsunade arc and she had her hemophobia, she completely had a moment where she locked down and was not able to access her power, because, as I've been stressing to you guys, chakra is your physical energy as well as your spiritual energy. Your spiritual energy is connected to your mental state of mind. Kyoho doesn't give into the flight aspect, which is what happened with Tsunade. She basically shut down and surrendered. Kyoho goes into a rage, and he goes into a rage at the sight of blood, and he becomes so unhinged that he's a liability to the people around him, because he can't distinguish between friend or foe. And that's when we see that Kagura is at least strong enough that he's able to one-shot Kyoho. Now, when you go back to the Hidden Mist Village arc, Kagura was not that strong, so we've seen that he's leveled up, which that adds credence to how strong Tenma is. But Tenma is at a power level that is out of Kagura's league. This fight was very brief. However, it did enough to establish that Tenma is at a power level where Kagura is not going to be able to take him out by himself. So you're likely going to see Boruto and Kawaki likely be the ones to step up. Sarada and Mitsuki, you're going to see some of these other characters who have experienced fighting characters that are at Kage plus levels. Unless Kagura gets a major mental amp somewhere in the battle, or Kagura has a gear of power that we weren't predisposed to in this episode, I don't see him being able to just 1v1 this character, Tenma. Maybe he's able to go up against Arayumi, because the last couple of episodes kind of implied that Tenma had power and potential beyond that of his brother and his father. You could use that as a great benchmark to kind of show that he's approaching Chojo levels of power, because Kagura is supposed to be the next Mizukage. So I think you'll see that. But when it comes to Tenma, I kind of think that this is going to be Team 7 who ends up finishing him off. Now, while it was nice to see that Kagura was getting the mental amps because he was trying to protect Buntan, and he's saying he's not going to let any of his precious friends end up getting defeated, I like how there were several times in this fight where Kagura is on the defensive, just outright running away from Tenma, and the whole time you see Kawaki, we get further proof that Kawaki's just built different, because Kawaki is on the offense of the entire time he's fighting against Tenma head up. And while this battle's going on, you have Boruto, who has to make a critical decision right now. Does he outright destroy this chakra cannon with the rasengan, which he's smart enough to realize that that is a bad idea, because that is a device that is making use of chakra. If you pack an enormous amount of chakra into your own rasengan, which takes changing chakra shape to an extreme, you could blow up the entire area, because you're taking the massive amount of chakra that's in the rasengan and you're using it to destroy a device that has chakra built into it that's meant to discharge. By doing what Boruto did by taking control of the crane and whipping the chakra cannon around and have it destroy the surrounding area, Boruto was able to smartly contain the radius. I know there were a few people who are likely going to say, why didn't he just destroy the cannon? That's the reason why. Boruto didn't want to run the risk of using enough chakra to destroy that base while the chakra cannon was being fired, and it ended up causing a bigger explosion than what he thought about. So I understand why he did this. And when you look at it from a tactical standpoint, Team 7, they've accomplished their goals. They're supposed to go to the island, survey the situation, locate Dinky's team, get them out, get any innocent civilians out of there, rescue the Leaf researchers. They did that. They accomplished their submission of destroying the chakra cannon. They've done enough damage to the ship that the Funato clan can't directly engage them. And so they're able to go back to the Mist Village, regroup, give Chojuro the status update. And now this becomes a problem for the Hidden Mist Village to handle themselves. They can use Boruto's team if they want to, but right now Boruto's team has handled what they needed to. If we would have had a situation where Kagura was leading Team 5, Team 7, the 3 members of the 7 Ninja Swords and the Mist and himself onto a suppression mission to take out all those pirates, that would have been stupid, simply for the fact that you have innocent civilians whose protection should come first. You need to ensure that they get to safety. You can worry about suppression after the fact. I mean, overall, this was a cool episode, man. This is a cool episode. Studio Pierrot and Jiru, they did their thing on this one. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.